Well, good morning. Good morning. It's Father's Day, and I hope you guys are, able to join us. We have a great show for you today. Not going to keep anyone too long. We're just going to have a good conversation. Hope you brought a cup of coffee or something warm to drink, or in certain situations, if you're back east, maybe you're having lunch about this time. But we appreciate you coming, and yeah. So I got John Jay here, and I got CarCast, two my good buddies. We're going to talk a little bit about 49er football, and then we're going to get into maybe a couple of dad moments. So let me start out again by saying thanks everybody for coming. Appreciate you coming. If you didn't notice the thumbnail, I am rocking my Father's Day gift. Yes, I am super super excited. My girls got me a Moody jersey, so now just fingers closed, crossed, everything. I am just super excited. I can't wait for football. I can't wait for football. How about you, John? How's your morning? And are you excited about football?
Yeah. Thanks for having me on as always. Yeah, love football, love the Niners. Happy Father's Day. Uh, great day, Brian, because you are a dad. Happy Father's Day. I know those kids that you have there are the most luckiest kids. I don't have any children yet, but when being a dad, like people tell me it's a fun feeling. So happy Father's Day. It's anyone in the chat who's a father, happy Father's Day.
Thank you very much. And yes, good morning to everybody in the chat. John, you're there. Jeff, we see you. Carcast, of course. And now we have Eric Wallace. Eric, I don't know if you're a father or not, but if you are, happy Father's Day. Thank you for coming. And let's get into it.
Shout out to Eric.
So,
He's a good dude.
Yep.
Carcast, how are you doing? And I know everybody has a dad, but do you currently live with your dad? Did you do anything special for your dad this morning?
Yep. I made my dad some breakfast, so I gave him a card. I'm living with my dad currently. It's been a good day so far. Also, happy Father's Day to obviously all the faithful, all the fathers in general. Speaking of football, I'm just excited, man. 6 more weeks till training camp, so that's what's up. So I just can't wait till football.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for jumping on the show this morning. We were able to visit this yesterday, and I don't think you two were here. So let me pop this up, and I want to get your guys' opinion on it. I'll throw this to the side for a second. The picture covers all of us, but I think this just sets it up a little bit better for us. So if you guys were able to see the other day, our boy Trey Lance, he's got him a new set of wheels. And here's what it looks like. So let's talk about this for a couple minutes. CarCast, what is your thoughts? Do you like the color scheme? This is a Mercedes Maybach, and he bought it for a little bit over 100 grand. What's your thoughts?
I obviously like the design. It's cool. I'm not a huge fan of the rims. I heard you saying that yesterday. I would obviously like it in Niner colors. I like the black on top on the hood. That's pretty cool. Not a big fan of the yellow rims, like I said, but it's a nice car, Mercedes, long SUV kind. So I like it. Just I would obviously change the colors, but really the entire body of the cars looks nice to me.
I'm not so upset with the colors. At least there is some gold and black, and the Niners do have those in their uniforms. It's just a
Hmm.
little bit too much gold for me. And Steve, I think, brought up a funny joke. He said it's kind of, if you look at it, the gold's like Trey Lance's face, and the black's like his hairline. And I thought that was horrible, but it's funny. So I don't know if you see that analogy or not. John, what's your thoughts of the car overall?
So, what is the brand of the car?
This is a Mercedes Maybach.
Okay, so
It's a Mercedes
first,
Benz.
yeah,
Fancy.
first, Mercedes. It's a top brand. I know people who own Mercedes. Like, it's not they're not cheap cars. So, Trey Lance is an 49er. He's making the big bucks. So for him, he can afford it. Uh, so shout out to him. He's a car owner. It's always great to uh like own your own car. When I look at this picture, like when I look at the color schemes, there's the black on top and the gold, um, and the wheels. Like I'm not gonna try to make fun of the car because the car is a very very odd type of color scheme. But he bought a Mercedes. It's an expensive car. Shout out to him. Maybe that's Trey Lance. Like everyone has their favorite type of stuff. If I bought that, I would be a little bit like, John, what are you doing? Because maybe Trey Lance, that's what he likes, and
Yeah.
everyone's different. So, shout out to Trey Lance. He bought a expensive car. Good for him. Yeah, that's all I say about the car.
I don't know
Yeah,
about you guys.
Go ahead. Good.
I don't know when you guys looked at this car first. It kind of looked like a taxi to me with the color schemes, the yellow and the black. I don't know. That's the first thing that popped in my mind.
It's the rapper, the baby. Is that
Yep.
how he has a version of this car. I don't know if he designed it. Like I said, I want it to be painted this way, but this is his version of the Mercedes. And I guess you can buy it, if you like it too, you can buy it too. So this is, I guess, I don't know, maybe Trey Lance likes the baby as a rapper. I'm not too big sure, but I think it's definitely a beautiful car. And yeah, it's going to be expensive, but I definitely think he'll definitely feel comfortable driving around in it. That's for sure. So yeah, I just want to get you guys' thoughts on it. For $104,000, I think I could buy a Batmobile. So I would probably buy a Batmobile instead of the Mercedes, especially if I was the 49ers quarterback. Everybody's going to recognize me. So why not drive around in a supercar? But this is pretty super too. So I would not too upset.
So if it's okay, Brian, I have a question because you brought up Batmobile.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I got a good friend. He's a big comic book, superhero fanatic, and
Yeah.
he took me to an event in San Diego. I was already in town for a Marine graduation, and there was a replica or a car prop that looked like the Batman. And he said, we got to go in there. We got to go in there. So he took a picture of me in there. I took a picture of him in there. So I don't know if I was in a Batmobile, but he has the pictures.
That's cool.
Yeah. So shout out to him. He's a huge comic book person. And he said next year he wants to take me back over there. So good guy.
That'd be cool. If you do get to go back, you should definitely blog it, and definitely show people because people really like that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They really do. My room here is half 49ers and Batman. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. Some people get my gosh, they just get crazy with it. There was a Comic-Con. It wasn't like San Diego Comic-Con, but there was a comic book convention in San Jose and just a year ago, and it was actually before COVID, and Lou Ferrigno was there. I really wanted to go because I was right there in San Jose at the same time. I was across the street. I just couldn't get into the building. So, but hey, shout out to San Diego. They do that Comic-Con like almost every year. There's a New York Comic-Con and then there's a San Diego one. So if you get to go, that's something really fun to go to. And if anybody's listening, they ever get to go to ToyCon, that's really cool too. It's where all the new toys are coming out, and it's not really for kids. It's really not. It's toys that you don't want to let your kids play with. So good morning, Ryan. Thanks for coming. We're just having a cool little show. We're gonna go around the table, talk a little bit. John and CarCast wasn't here yesterday. I don't think they were able to talk about the car, so wanted to talk about Trey Lance's car a little bit, and then say good morning to everybody. Happy Father's Day, and then maybe give, if you're comfortable with it, maybe give us a memory of your dad. And I'm going to do the same. So we'll get into that in a little bit. But how are you doing this morning? All right, no worries. So we got a lot of people popping in the chat. Good morning, Damian Lee. Really appreciate you. And yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys my dad joke. Love it.
Cool.
It's one of those things. We're gonna jump into it. I'm gonna throw it down here on the bottom. So my wife said I should do lunges to stay in shape. That would be a big step forward. So didn't come up on the banner the right way, but basically I was talking to my wife the other day and she said I should do lunges to stay in shape. And all right. But that'd be a big step forward.
Oh, I get it. I get it. I get it now. That makes sense. Oh man.
A little corny, but sometimes I have to say it a couple times too. Good morning, Corey. We survived. Last night, if you guys were able to join the show, it was a lot of fun. Or if you can watch the replay, Corey had a great show last night. He had two lovely guests, I would like to say, Odd, and then a great panel after that. So appreciate it, Corey. Thank you. All right, so you guys see I'm wearing my Moody jersey, so I got good vibes and I got good moods. Let's get into this. It's Father's Day. I'm probably gonna get some breakfast here in a little bit. My little girl, she went down the street to have a sleepover. She usually does that on Saturdays, which is a lot of fun for her. I live pretty close to my parents, so when she gets back, we're gonna, probably make some breakfast. Maybe have a barbecue later today. But Carcast, you said you already made breakfast for your dad. What do you guys got planned on for today?
Well, we're planning to go on like a little picnic or whatever, like go outside, hang out, do stuff with the family. Obviously my dad. Just chill outside, good weather. Probably barbecue something. Not sure as of yet, what's cooking in the grill, but we'll figure it out. Just go outside. It's actually good here for once because here on the East Coast, the weather's like really inconsistent. So like it's like rainy one day and the next day it's like 80, 90 degrees. Like, I don't know, but gotta take advantage of the good days out here because they don't come by very much. So
Now, where you're at, is it muggy?
is it what?
Muggy.
Oh yeah. A lot of times it's storming one time, it's muggy, it's foggy, but today's the day. Today's the day.
I've lived in California primarily my entire life, and I moved to Kentucky, and it's a lot more humid there, and they have a lot more muggy weather. And I was just blown away sitting under a tree, sitting under a tree, sweating. It's just there. It doesn't matter. You had shade or not. It's just that bad. You can take 3 showers a day and still get out of the shower and have to take another one. It gets bad sometimes.
Right.
So what's new in 49ers land, and what's new with your channel, Carcast? You're getting close to 300 subs, I see.
Yep. Trying to get to do a show either today or tomorrow, depending on my schedule. But really on the Niners, there's really not much to talk about. I've been trying to preview on my channel the different position groups, how it's gonna pan out in 2023. I've been talking defensive line, who's going to be on the other side of Bosa, even if it's Jackson. I don't know if the Niners are going to go out and get someone like a Yannick Ngakoue or, whoever's out there, like a Justin Houston, or like offensive line talk, who's going to be our starting center, stuff like that. But yeah, man, there's really not much to talk about. But Trey Lance, he's looking pretty good, and he looked pretty good in OTAs and minicamp, but and not training camp, mini camp, but we still got 6 weeks to training camp, so just got to really repeat whatever we talk about, really.
So if you got to pick a rusher, like you're just talking about, who's your top? Who would you pick if you could? Money's not really a question, but it's got to be a scheme fit. It's got to be somebody that's gonna gel with the team. So who would you suggest to the 49ers to go out and sign? And do you even think we really need to at this point?
Do we really need to? No. Do I think the Niners will? No. I think we can stick with Drake Jackson. I believe in Drake Jackson. I think this guy could really step up next year. But if we were to get one, I'd probably have to go with a guy like we're not talking money wise, but I'd probably have to go with a guy like Yannick Ngakoue. I just want like a 2019 D Ford kind of guy, without the injuries, missing games, back issues. Stay consistent, do your thing, rush the quarterback. Create one-on-one matchups. Let guys like Hargrave, Armstead through the middle, creating interior pressure. So I just need a guy who can stay consistent, get like eight, 9, almost 10 sacks a season, like Ngakwe. But I'm really fine with a guy like Drake Jackson. I have faith in him, and I think he could step up. He bulked up too this offseason, so that's a good sign.
I agree. I like Drake Jackson. I'd like to see what he does this year. They said that he's going to be bigger, stronger,
Yep.
and the problem with him last year was he came into camp and he just didn't have the not heart. That's not it. There was times in the locker room that he didn't have his man body, I guess, if that's how
Right.
you want to say it. He wasn't in shape. He was in shape, but he wasn't in NFL shape, if that's what you want to say.
Yep.
So I agree. Well, Corey, what's your thoughts on Drake Jackson? Should we upgrade, or you think we should give the guy a chance?
Okay, before I go there, I want to say Happy Father's Day to you, right?
Thank you.
And I want to say Happy Father's Day to Noble Sports. And Happy Father's Day to John Jay and Carcass. Sell your father. Happy Father's Day.
Hey, I appreciate that, Corey. Thank you.
Corey.
I'm thinking Dre Jackson might just step up. He gonna be the guy. He gonna get at least 7, 8 sacks. Because I believe in him. I believe in what our defensive coaches are saying and about him. That's the only thing that we can go by. I don't know if they're gonna go after any free agents right now. They go after somebody, they have to release somebody. And I'm thinking they just sit and who knows, they just signed another defensive guy. He might be the guy. I think he's was it a body what they call it, body replacement or somebody. He's a defensive lineman. I can't think of his name right now. But I know I had it on my piece of paper. I had it written down and I had it on my bed at one time. He might be the guy. We might have a surprise already, a surprise defensive end pass rusher right now on our roster that they already signed that we don't know about. But I hope it's Dre Jackson because I really like him. Coming from USC, I think this man's gonna be good.
Yeah. John, what's your thoughts on Drake Jackson? Do you think we need to upgrade, or you think we're okay? Or, do you want to give him some more time? Or do you think we need to address the position?
I want Drake Jackson to get his opportunity. I want him to, play this year. We drafted him, so I want to see that. I don't think the Niners are gonna get anybody at this point because, as Carcast says, we're about 6 weeks away from the start of training camp. And if the Niners wanted to get an edge rusher, they value defensive line players. And this year, they did not get a defensive line player. They got a defensive tackle. So that's how confident the organization and the coaches feel that Drake Jackson is the guy, and they believe in him. When he was able to be on the field, I think he had the most batted balls with the very little opportunity and the little snaps. So what if he's able to get 50% of those snaps, how the numbers are going to look like? So Drake Jackson, I want him to get his opportunity, and maybe he's the guy, just like on the other side, a different situation with the right tackle. So Maybe they're very confident, just like the right tackle. Why we didn't drop the right tackle? Maybe that's how they feel about Drake Jackson. Maybe he's the guy.
Yeah. So Ryan, if you're back, if you'd like to give us your thoughts, you probably have already. We're talking about Drake Jackson, and would you like to see him? Would you like to see us go and get somebody because we're just not confident in him, or are we? We want to see what the guy's got going for him this year. What's your thoughts?
I don't think they are going after another defensive end. I think Cleveland Farrell is going to be the guy. Drake Jackson, we all want to be, but it seems like from what Coach Kocurek said, kind of gave me the impression that it might not be his year this year. I have a feeling that Cleveland Farrell, who has been in the league for quite some time already, who hasn't had much success, I think this is his breakout year. He's had years of weight training in the NFL, and now he's behind a tactician like Chris Kocurek. I think he's going to be the big guy this year. Well, not the big guy, but the extra guy, the one guy that shows up that we didn't expect at the beginning of the year. He's going to be the Charles Omenihu. He's going to be the Kerry Hyder. But I think Drake Jackson will come on strong this year. I just don't think it'll be better than like a Cleveland Farrell until next year. I think next year is the year where he really stands out and holds his own.
I like that. That's a good point too. Okay, so this is a good question, and it's kind of similar to what we were talking about. We'll start with CarCast. What are you more concerned with, the offensive line or the defensive line at this time? We basically it's the same side. It's that right side, or opposite would be the left side. But what are you more comfortable with, and what do you think is bigger necessity, the line, the defensive line, or the offensive line at this time?
I definitely think the bigger necessity is the offensive line. I'm more concerned with the right side, especially because we were obviously on the defensive side. We have a secondary genius and a guy like Steve Wilkes who's been in the year for a long time but on different teams. He's a secondary guru, and if you don't, we've got a pretty good D line, and if we had pressure with whoever we had last year on the edge on the other side of Bosa, if we can just cause pressure. We have guys in the secondary who can step up, and we've also got really good cover guys. We've obviously lost Emmanuel Moses. We have Charvarius. We'll see who's in our slot on the other side. Oh man, I forgot his name. Who's the other outside corner beside Charvarius Ward? I forgot his name, but yeah, I can't think of his name.
Charizard?
Who?
Charizard? Or is that who you're already talking about?
Oh, that's the one I'm talking about. I'm thinking of the other
Okay.
guy. I forgot his name. Yeah, I'm blanking on his name. But I definitely think the O-line is the...
DeMar Lenore?
Yeah, I feel like Diameter Lenore, whoever steps up on the other side, could be a factor, especially with a guy like Steve Wilkes. But on the offensive line, man, the right side just concerns me because going to a guy like Mike McGlinchey, then going to a guy like McKivitz, I really don't think that's a big improvement. We'll see how he does. It's a scheme fit, obviously. The Niners, they bring in these guys because they fit the scheme, not because of their raw talent. We'll see, man. I don't think it's a big step up from a guy like Big Mike, but, we'll see. We got Trent Williams, a silverback, but we don't got a complimentary guy. You could say on a D-line, but I don't know. I've seen Drake Jackson. I've seen sparks of Drake Jackson. I just haven't seen anything from Colton McKivitz. He fits the scheme all right, and we don't even know who our quarterback's going to be this season. Trey Lance, we'll see. I don't know. I hope it's Trey Lance. But, man, we really got to get the offensive line fixed up.
Corey, what's your thoughts? What do you think we need to address? What's the biggest concern to you, the offensive line or the defensive line at this time?
It'll be the offensive line. Not
Offensive line.
defensive line. Because, with right tackle is McKivitz, is he the guy? I'm hoping he's the guy. Or did they get, what's his name, Fisher? Maybe he's the guy. I don't know. See, that's the thing.
Hmm.
We gotta trust the coaches that they do a good job with that right side. You know that McKivit's gonna be better. You know, if I'm saying his name right, he's gonna be better than McGlinchey. That he's gonna be a good blocker over there. Only thing we can do is pray, and hopefully that offensive line is good. You know, we looking at it like, oh boy, we're gonna be in trouble, and we do that every year now. Looking at the offensive line, that's our biggest concern. Always with the offensive line, and then they suddenly seem to do improvements. I'm not worried about Buford or Banks or Trent Williams. I know they are good. They do their job. It's the center and the right tackle. Got me worried.
John, same question. I know you stepped away for a second. So, what's more of a concern to you, the offensive line at this time or the defensive line?
I'm gonna go with offensive line. I know there are 3 players on the offensive line that have proven last year. One of them is Trent Williams, so I'm not going to really count him. But the other 2 is Aaron Banks, who started his first full season, had a good year. Spencer Burford in his rookie season had a good year for a rookie. They still need to continue to improve and get better. Just because they had good years last year, can they do that year after year? So hopefully they can stay consistent, live up to their high ceiling that they had this year. Jake Brendel, I'm not saying he's the worst offensive line in NFL history, but hopefully he could take that big step and have a second year under Kyle's system, and he can become better. I worry about him. I'm not a hater like some people who are on the internet. So hopefully he can step up. And then of course I want to see Colton McKivitz. His when he was playing, I'm not saying he was perfect, but now he's gonna get his full chance. So I want to see the offensive line. I think that's an area that I always worry about because they protect our quarterback, they keep him upright, and when you got to put points on the board, you got to keep your quarterback as healthy as possible. So that's my thoughts on that.
Good points. Good points. Mr. Ryan, if you heard the same question, I know it's a basic question, but I think it does deserve attention. What are you more concerned about?
Well, there's concerns on the defensive line. We don't know about our other bookend. We don't know that's for certain yet. And also, Javon Hargrave is great at pass rushing, but he's not necessarily, his strong point isn't necessarily run blocking. So there is kind of concerns because if we can pass rush and can't run block, we're going to be in trouble because we run block to make them have to pass. And that's where we get them out on third and long. Offensive line, obviously, it's right tackle. I'm not so worried about center anymore. Seems like we got a guy. His first year starting, he had an amazing season for a first year. Like I can't throw him under the bus for anything because he didn't have enough mistakes to really warrant throwing him under the bus. He made mistakes, but they were few, and I'm sure he's learning from them. So I think offensive line is the biggest concern, but I do think there is concern on the defensive line, and we shouldn't be so complacent that we've got it. It's a for sure thing yet.
Yeah, I agree. I would say like center is a definitely, it's a need if we're going to, use a different center this year, and depending on the quarterback situation, they all have to be comfortable with the center. Then the center has to gel with that side of the line as the whole line. He needs to be able to be a captain on the line. And then the right tackle position, that's a concern, but the 49ers are confident, and it's Colt McKivitz, I believe, that's going to the right tackle spot. If they're comfortable with that, then okay, I'll believe in that. But I am a little concerned with the defensive line, like Ryan was saying, because if Drake Jackson's not that guy, that's going to hurt us. If Kinlaw's not that guy or continues to get hurt, if he's even making the team, that's going to hurt us. So we definitely need other guys that can step up. And, I'm not the biggest fan of him. Not that I don't like him or anything, but Eric Armstead, he's a great player, really great player for the person for the community, great 49er. I'm just not the biggest. I'm not going to pound the table for him as hard as other people.
I don't like how he gets petty, like how he gets petty. You know what I mean? Like, he's a great person as far as in the community.
Yeah.
And on the team, you can't say anything bad about him whatsoever. You can't find anything really to say bad about him, about his play on the field.
The only thing that I know people say he's really good at run stopping, and maybe that is. I would like to see him get sacks a little bit more, and that's my only knock on him. And it's not a knock because he's taken, attention away from other people on the line. I get that, but that would be my thing. But yes, you're right, Ryan. Ultimate 49er player, but he does have like a little bit of a.
Have you heard my philosophy on why they let DeForest Buckner go and they kept him?
I think I have, but we got plenty of time, so let's go over it again.
So with the wide 9, it's really hard to stop the run. First thing, okay, let's start here. In a 4-3, it's harder to stop the run than in a 3-4. Okay, so we run a 4-3. Now in a wide 9 4-3, it's even harder to stop the run. Now we're so good at stopping the run, it's because of the personnel we have. It's because of a guy like Eric Armstead who can cover 2 gaps, essentially. You know what I mean? Who has the talent to be a disruptor up there. And that's why DeForest Buckner, he was great at getting sacks, but he wasn't as strong as a run stuffer. And that's why we have Eric Armstead, because he's extremely versatile. He's solid at run stuffing, and he's okay at pass rushing. And if you've got other people on the team who can get after the quarterback also, then his numbers pick up, which is okay. That's perfectly fine. I'd rather make sure I got that run stuffed on 2 of the 3 downs and with him, and then have him just be ornery with somebody or 2 guys on 3rd down. You know what I mean? And let everybody else go after the quarterback. I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah, and I see it too. That's why I don't really want to say much about him. It's nothing I don't have any ill intents or any bad, there's nothing wrong with him. I just, again, maybe it's just like you said, we kept him over Buckner, and I was a little bit more like, can't we keep both of them? But we kept him, and I don't know if that was necessarily the best decision, but when you explain it like that and other people say he's a really good run stopper, it makes sense. That's why they did it. It's just, again.
Did you see that? Did you see the play against the Raiders on the goal line?
I probably did.
He takes a helmet to the face essentially from an offensive lineman. Or no, he throws an offensive lineman out of his way after, he comes in contact with him. Then the fullback hits him in the head pretty much, and he knocks the fullback off. And then the running back comes and tries to hit him, and he hits him and knocks him back. You know what I mean? And you're talking about on the goal line.
I know he did have that one play last year where he should have sacked the quarterback, but he didn't go for it. And it would have been like a safety in the end zone or something like that. And he held up. But, maybe that's smart playing too, because you don't go for, like the attack. You don't make a penalty. So, sometimes veteran players make better decisions too.
Yeah, that's what I hate about that, penalty stuff. It's got our defense linemen thinking before they can make that sack or something. They trying to come in and get that sack, and then because they don't want to get a penalty and cost the team 15-yard down the field,
Yeah. They got the players scared to play football. Now they got to think before they tackle. It's like, how am I tackling? Can I tackle? So, do you guys remember the reason we went after like 4 defensive linemen in a row when we were drafting? It's because we were getting ran on. We were getting ran on like historically bad. Everybody was running on us. It was like right after they let Harbaugh go, we started getting a defensive lineman every year. We got 2 of them from Oregon, DeForest. We got Armstead. What was Armstead first, then DeForest, and then we went after Solomon Thomas, and I can't remember but it was every year we were getting a defensive lineman, and now we don't get ran on like that. So I'm happy with the transition. Defense does matter. It really does. Do you guys think it's going to matter who's behind center for the offensive line to have success? You guys think that the offensive line is going to gel regardless who's the quarterback, or do you think they need the same guy behind center all year? Let's go with Carcass.
I think they.
All right. No Border Sports. He made a good point. Jake Brundle, he fits the scheme. He's not getting paid very much. I mean, he had a first good season with the Niners. Actually, I was very impressed by his play. We'll see if he can, take a bigger leap or have the same consistency a second time, because doing it one time really doesn't mean anything. But, good for him. I'm also looking for another guy. I like John Feliciano as well. I thought he played really good. He can play guard, I think, as well, both of the guard spots and center. He did really well with the Giants last season, knowing why Saquon Barkley had, one of his best seasons after his ACL. But I like John Feliciano as well, so if it's either him or Jake Brundle, I'll be totally fine. But looks like the Niners, they're riding with Jake Brundle right now. I mean, I'm fine with it. He had a good season. Let's see if he can do it again. But either one of those guys I'm fine with.
John Jay. We'll keep the same order. Corey, and then go John, and then go Border Sports. Corey, your same thoughts, same question. Not same thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts. Does the offensive line need to gel behind one quarterback, or can they do it by themselves throughout the year? Does it matter who their quarterback is?
No, they need plus the center. He needs to gel with one quarterback. He needs to gel with both, but more you need somebody you know who's gonna be back there, and you know what voice he's throwing out. His cadence. You got you need to gel that one quarterback. They need to know. Okay, if it's Trey Lance, I know he's gonna be immobile. He's gonna move around back there. Brown Purdy, he's gonna move around too, though. Yeah, he's gonna move around too. So, but I think they need to know who's quarterback and gel with that one quarterback, puzzling with the center.
John Jay, what's your thoughts? Do they need to gel with one quarterback, or do you think the offensive line can gel on its own?
Yeah, the relationship with the quarterback and the center has to be a really good relationship, because they have to, even though most people who watch football think, oh, the center's just giving the ball, it's no big deal. But it is a big deal. It is a big deal that for a center and a quarterback to be in sync. And if like the quarterback and the center like are just 1 second or one, just millimeter or 1 inch off, they're not gonna get the ball snapped. So there has to be that good communication. Even though, again, I said it, I'm gonna say it again. On TV, people say, "Oh, he's just giving the football. It's not a big deal." It is a big deal. I've seen Jimmy and Alex Mack on the very first game in 2021, and the very first snap that they were not in sync. So, and Alex Mack was a veteran, Jimmy, and so you have to have that sync. And if you're unable to do that, fumbles are going to happen. So you do have to work with the center, and unfortunately, this quarterback thing, whoever the quarterback is, they got to work with Brendel. So it's always a good relationship for the quarterback and the center to always practice that, getting that ball snapped.
Ryan, what's your thoughts, man? You think the reason I'm asking this question is because, like, we had 2017, we had all those quarterbacks. It seemed like at the beginning of the year, the offensive line, didn't really know their place. Then they finally get Jimmy at the end, and they started playing better. So, was it the quarterback? Again, same question, but is it the quarterbacks getting the ball out of his hands faster, giving the offensive line that much, more time to relax, or because they're not working when the guy's done, or does it really matter? The offensive line just needs to kind of gel together and, know where they stand.
It seems like we always start out horrible on the offensive line. Well, not horrible, but not good. You know what I mean? Which I feel is horrible because it does so much to us in the beginning of the season. But I just think we're going to have another slow start. I think it's inevitable. It's always what happens. I think our run scheme is so complex and needs so much training to get it right. You know what I mean? To get it fluid. That, that plays into everybody else's heads. So when you mess up in a run play, now it's in 3rd and 7, you're like, shit, I can't mess up a third time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now you're thinking about that instead of thinking about the matchup across from you. So I just don't think it's a good situation to put us in because we start out slow with the line. It's just... Sorry, I didn't hear the first question. If you couldn't hear by when I chimed out last time, some engine was running, and I couldn't hear myself think.
Oh, you did pretty good. Basically, it's that, I think you nailed it. We start out slow because the offense, the plays are complicated. They need to know where they're running to and this and that. And it's like, at a certain point, they just figure it out. And it is interesting because they do seem to change out quarterbacks throughout the season. So again, I would think that you would need to know, okay, the tendencies of your quarterback. Like, how long do you expect him to hold it? How long do you expect him to, be running around in the backfield? With Seattle, when they had Russell Wilson, they knew just block, keep blocking until the end of the play, until you hear the whistle, because the guy's going to be running around in circles in the backfield. Sooner or later, he's going to get rid of the ball, but you guys need to block, and that's what we got to do. We just got to block. But with sometimes teams take that time off. They just, okay, the play's over, and they stop blocking. Well, now you just got your quarterback lit up, or now the running back doesn't have anybody blocking. So I do agree. I think we start out slow, and I think it's going to take a little time for us to gel. I don't know if it's going to necessarily really depend on the quarterback, because at this time, I think the quarterback is coming to the offensive line and saying, you guys are either going to work for me or I'm gonna do it myself. And that's what I've seen the last couple of seasons with our quarterbacks. They're doing it without the offensive line. And when they have relied on the offensive line, that's when they've gotten hurt. So I don't know if you guys agree with that, but that's what I've seen. So Corey, what's your thoughts on the whole Tom Grossi thing? Are you excited?
Ooh.
Tom Grossi, the guy that's going to all the stadiums, 30 stadiums in 30 days.
I guess I'm not. I don't know because I don't really know him.
Okay. Well, let me take this time. Anybody else wants to jump in and tell you a little bit about him? He's a YouTuber. He's got a lot of subs. And he does breakdowns of all kinds of different NFL teams. And he kind of does like parodies where he'll put different jerseys on of the team. And he'll sit there and he'll do like a little skit where he breaks it down, like how the fans react or whatever. And then he has, I want to say 3 to 4 other guys that he does panels with, like kind of like this. And they all have a bunch of subs. So they start doing these super chats with the people, and they start doing challenges and stuff on the show. there's a lot of jokes. They're gonna locker room jokes. We'll say it like that. And oh my gosh, the guy's super funny. But he has made a challenge, and he's going to go to 30 different NFL stadiums in 30 days, and he's donating money for St. Jude's. So I believe at the end, whoever donates the most, he's going to get a tattoo of whoever puts out the most for the donation gets the decision on what tattoo he's going to get. He's going to get tattooed on another NFL team. And I think it's cool because instead of him buying a house this year, he took his down payment to buy a house, and he's using this to go around. So he's funding himself. He's not getting funded by the NFL.
Okay. Yeah. I'm glad he's done doing that. You know, he's doing that to raise money for St. Jude. So I can support him for that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really, really cool. Excuse me for a second. So sorry. John, he said that he's going to try to go to the Santa Clara one, and Ryan and Joe said that they're going to try to go to the Seattle one. And if I'm correct, because I've seen two different schedules, it says that I believe he's going to be in Seattle on the 24th, and I seen one schedule that said he was going to come out here to California on the 26th. If that happens, I don't know if I'll make that one. But if he can make Sunday, because I was looking last night and I was trying to find out if he's going to make it on Sunday, because it's an hour plane trip, really. If he makes it Sunday, I think I'm going to try to load the girls up and take Tony over there. I think we're going to try to go and stand in the parking lot and yell Tom Grossi, try to get a picture. He's got definitely a big heart. So
try and get
Ryan,
a picture. Bro, he's taking pictures with everybody. He's signing stuff. Bring something to get signed.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring my No Borders hoodie and my No Borders hat. I'm gonna have him sign it.
Oh wow. Yeah. Do you have any information that you'd like to expand on Tom Grossi?
Oh, well, it seems like it seems like you need to follow him on Twitter to get the latest updates. He should be coming on the 25th, which is Sunday, I believe. Yeah, he usually tweets out something about 8 hours beforehand or the day beforehand. You know, like if he gets in that night, then he'll tweet out where he's going to be the next morning. If he gets in that day or whatever, like, I don't know. It all depends. It's been kind of not thought out well, but it's kind of like hey, we'll figure it out, and that's cool. But it should have been thought out a little bit more. But I bet the next time he does this, something like this, that he'll have thought it out. But yeah, that's essentially what you're doing. He's just going around. He's got six more stadiums before he hits you guys up.
That's cool. Do you know if he has a map that he's already shown what stadiums he's been to?
No. But he does make a video about it, and you might see yourself on the video if you go to the functions, because it seems like they meet up at a spot and then they go to like a bar afterwards. So there might be, and that's where all the stuff gets going. I'll put this, or what do I remember? One of the camera guys likes Cinnabon. So, you know what I mean? Try to get brownie points, bring Cinnabon.
All right, John, do you have any information on Tom Grossi and the events that's happening that you'd like to expand on?
Yeah, so on the 25th, which is next week, I'm not sure when or what time he's going to be at the stadium, or if he's going to sit, or because some places he hasn't been able to go to the stadium because it was booked or other reasons. Yesterday he went to a yesterday he went to a park uh in Tampa to meet up with the fans. So once the information comes out, then I'll know like where he's gonna be at. But when it comes to Tom Grassi, the YouTuber, he's very hilarious, but he's also very insightful. He has those funny characters that he plays about all the 32 teams of the divisions, the NFC West, all that stuff. And shout out to him. He's doing something like he told Pat McAfee. I turned down my home, my future home, to do this. I did this not because, like he just wanted to go meet the fans. Like he's doing it for a good cause. And, St. Jude's is, a hospital for kids that have, health issues. So I know all that money he's raising will be spent very well once he sends the donations to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. So that's all I got to say about Tom Grassi at this moment.
Cool. Yeah. If you find out anything, and you want to shoot me, Instagram or something, I'm really, really trying to go. If it's this Sunday, I'm gonna try my hardest to get over there. I don't do a lot of road trips, and this one I could actually possibly make. So yeah, that would be fun to go meet up in the parking lot, take some pictures. If he does go to, hopefully he doesn't go to a bar. I'd like maybe he go to a Denny's or something. I can take the kids, um, something like that. But yeah, either way, it'd be great to just be able to go and see it. So yeah, please, if you haven't seen Tom Grassi or you haven't subscribed, Corey, I sent you the link for him. He's a pretty cool guy. They do have 3 or 4 other guys. We'll get Joe sometime in here and he can tell you all the other names. They're funny. They are for adults. They're not necessarily for kids. So make sure you keep that in mind when you're watching it. I had to stop watching Brandon Perna for a long time because of that. My daughter started repeating the jokes. And you can't have sometimes little girls repeating locker room jokes. Well, remember, this is football.
Shout out to your daughter for having taste, though.
Lily's funny. Oh man, she'd come up and she'd say something, and I'd be like, "Where did you hear that from?" I was like, I can't listen to that no more. I gotta have my earbuds on or something. So, and Scooter McGruder, I gotta give him a shout out. He's probably my favorite Cowboy fan. I gotta tell you, he is so funny. He'll do his Cowboy reactions and stuff like that, and I'm just dying every time he does it. I think he lives in Florida, so that's even funnier. You're a Cowboy fan that lives in Florida. So shout out to the whole team. And yeah, St. Jude's, if you guys have an opportunity to go and donate, great place. They do a lot of great things for kids. They're a hospital for children. And I mean, that's just, like I've donated to St. Jude's. I think it was one of the best things I've ever done. And I can't do it all the time, but if you have the ability to, donate just a little bit, I highly encourage you. They send you usually a letter, a thank you and stuff, and that was great. Actually, recently I just got a phone call and they were telling me about my donation, and I got all teary eyed and everything because again, it's not a lot of money, and just for them to reach out and I know they're trying to probably get another donation too, but I've never had somebody just reach out again like that and say thank you and how much they supported it. So, guys, let's get into we've been here for a little bit. We're having a lot of fun. I'd like to give everybody a chance to give an honorable mention about a dad figure in their life or a memorable moment that they would like to share with the panel and everyone listening. And then we'll go ahead and get out of here. So, Carcast, not to put you on, first, but I'm going to ask you because, you did say you made breakfast for your dad. So, what's something that you'd like to say about Father's Day? Any kind of memory, really, in general about your dad, or even your uncles or anybody that's been a dad-like figure for you.
Yep, that's a great question. I appreciate it. Some fond memories that I have with my dad is, every day, summer days, go outside, pass the ball, pass around the football, play catch, bring the family together, call out our friends, We do like if you have enough 7-on-7, 11-on-11, just like a 2-hand touch. It's it's fun. Just go outside, get some fresh air, hang around outside, do some barbecuing. Just being in the presence with my dad. Just it's what it's supposed to be like. And we talk about the Niners. Memories we had with the Niners. We just talk life. Uh, yeah. It's just you got to take in the little things, and that's it's really what matters at the end of the day. So
So
don't got much to say, but yeah,
your
that's
dad's
what's up.
a Niner fan too, though.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's how I became a Niner fan too, a while back as well.
Perfect. That's awesome. Let's go to you, John, real quick. Same question. It doesn't have to be your dad. It could be a father figure or a friend. But let's hear a good memory. That you got for Father's Day.
So shout out to my birth dad. He was a workaholic. Uh, he was present, but at the same time he worked a lot. He always did his best to be there for all his kids. Uh, he was a workaholic. He wasn't a very rich man. He worked. Finally, when he was able to retire, he was able to finally uh, be with his kids. So shout out to him for making that sacrifice for working almost every day without complaining, without uh, you know complaining to his bosses that I got kids. He worked. He kept a low profile. A very quiet man, very good man. So shout out to him. Uh, when we were able to hang out, which was very, very little, I always took it like as a privilege because again, so that's one thing I want to say. Not all fathers uh, have time for all their kids and like spend 8 hours, all that stuff. Some dads don't. So for the dads who make the sacrifice for their kids, my dad did that. He sacrificed, and finally he retired. Got to do that. Last but not least, shout out to my grandfather who was that father figure who, when my dad wasn't able there, my grandfather was present. So privileged to have that relationship. Thank you, Brian.
Yeah, no, thank you, and shout out to everybody on Father's Day. It doesn't mean you have to be a father to, have some type of impact on someone. You can do a lot. You can be a big brother. You can be an uncle. You can. There's so many different ways that you can impact someone's life, and not necessarily be their daddy, but definitely impact them and step into somewhat of a father figure role for them. Even if it's just saying good morning to somebody, sometimes that does help. Corey, would you do the same thing for me? Would you give me a memory of your dad or a memory of a great Father's Day memory or any honorable mention that you'd like?
Okay. Me and my father used to go every time I get paid, I take him out for breakfast. So we'll go out for breakfast to pleasantly to our favorite restaurant, Suki's Country Kitchen. We'll go there a lot for breakfast every payday. So I got paid every 2 weeks. So we'll go out for breakfast together. And my daddy, he was the first type to say to you, I love you. His his thing, it's hard to get him to say, you say, I love you, daddy. He said, okay. But I worked on him so hard to get him to say, if when I was in my bike accident, I was surprised. He surprised me, came to the hospital. I was laying in bed and he came up and he kissed me on my forehead. I'm like, oh. So that was surprising, like, because he don't hardly show that much affection. And I broke him down. He finally started to show me some affection and say, he said, I love you, Corey. And um, I remember on his time when he told us we were playing church music well for him, you know, he he sit there and dance to church music. He told us, "This is my last night with a child," and so we sit there and we sitting there and listen to church music first, and then my little brother will say, "Daddy, I know you're gonna enjoy this." They play the song. Uh, I think it's Luke Skywalker. Shake your booty, and we started cracking up. He was sitting there dancing, cracking up about it. He was like, "Oh yeah," because he loves them kind of music too. He loves when we say tell the girls to shake their booty and get it down low and all that stuff. So he loves those songs too. So it was funny.
Thank you very much, Corey. That's cool. Yeah, it was. That's sad that you lost your dad, but it was really cool that you guys were able to have that moment. And at least you guys had a good moment. Ryan, same question to you, sir. What's a good moment? It could even be a moment with you and your daughter, or it could be a moment, anything. What's a good dad moment? Either your dad or, even just a great moment that you'd like to share with the panel.
First thing I want to say, it's manly to be vulnerable, to be sensitive to other people's thoughts and needs around your people that you love and who are closest to you. Okay, so anybody that doesn't think, that it's manly to tell your emotions and all this, that's false. Okay, like it's okay to. It's manly because all us men have those feelings. Okay, so don't hold back. Just don't hold back. It's not in your best interest. You know what I mean? Sometimes it can ruin the things that you love the most because you can't express yourself. So I just want to put that out there. I want to give a shout out to my grandpa, World War II, tortured soul. He wanted the best for me. He didn't know how to explain his feelings about anything really because he came from a time where you were men and you just had to shut up and bear it. He lived to that motto his whole life, and he saw horrible stuff. He didn't really speak much on the war. Supposedly, he was racist against Japanese people, but he still didn't like the fact that he had to use the flamethrower on them in the caves. Like the screams haunted him. So to guys like that who essentially paved the way for us, I just give thanks.
Yeah, that's really cool, Ryan. That's it's cool that your grandfather, left you without, that type of mentality and that type of those thoughts, because you see what type of person he was and the sacrifices that he made, and maybe some of those things that he didn't tell you guys saved you guys from the same things that was bothering him. But because he was there, he definitely had a lot of influence on you, looks like, and shout out to him. So for me, I'm gonna go maybe. So my dad, me and my brother Mark, we are about 18 months apart, and we grew up, brothers and friends, really. And my dad come home at nighttime, and it's not that he was doing anything weird. He just in the morning got up, went to work, come home, and after he came home, it's dark time. So did we necessarily go out there and throw the baseball with him? Did we necessarily go out there and kick around the ball or anything? No, because by the time he got home, he was tired. So Nothing taken away from my dad because he was supporting his family and doing what he was supposed to be doing, keeping a roof over our heads and food on the table. But where it might have been fun to throw the football with him a little bit, me and my brother, we learned that, out there in the yard by ourselves or with our friends. So sometimes, like you see other kids and they're doing stuff and you're like, man, why do they get it that way? Or why do you don't see the sacrifices that your parents are making necessarily. So, it's not, I'm not, I am who I am. I didn't play like Pee Wee football or any, Pop Warner or anything like that. I didn't play baseball and stuff like that. Cause one, my dad had the car. My mom, she was a stay-at-home mom, but it was just maybe too far for us to walk, or the uniforms, or baseball tryout sign up. Maybe it was just too much, And again, I didn't know what the finances was. I was just a kid, but I do appreciate my dad very, very much. I love him so much for showing me hard work and showing me you got to get up. You got to get up and you got to go to work. If you don't go to work, then no one's going to pay your bills. And if nobody pays your bills, then where are you going to be at? Not everybody wants to sleep in a car, and sooner or later the car needs gas. And if you can't put gas in your car, sooner or later you won't have a car. So got to do something. So shout out to my dad, because I think I'm pretty confident. I think he made me who I am today, and I don't think I'm too bad. And I believe a little bit of hard work doesn't hurt anybody. And I definitely got to shout him out, because every day my dad got up and went to work. Every day. And my dad went to work, and he did so many different things. He used to work in construction, then he became an eligibility worker. He retired from the welfare department as a caseworker. He learned how to do different Medi-Cal programs and help people. He worked in CPS. My dad did all kinds of stuff. And he really did. He expanded my world by telling me, people are people, and it doesn't matter what situation they're in. They could be at the lowest point in their life. They're still people, and they deserve respect. You still have to treat them with respect, even if they're asking for help. And sometimes you get to a point where you might be sleeping in a car, or you've lost everything, and you have to somehow put a smile on your face, or somehow rise above it to be able to get to the point where you need to get. And there's facilities, and there's organizations, and there's programs out there like the welfare system that it's your job just to process the paperwork, right? But you don't have to be a jerk about it. So people come up and they ask you for help, and it's not your job to give them judgment. It's not your job to belittle them or make them feel bad. They already feel bad enough that they're coming there and asking for help. So again, shout out to my dad for hopefully making me understand there's different aspects of life where, remember, we just got to remember there's all different types of people out there, and we're all people, and we all deserve to be respected. So happy Father's Day to everyone. And I'm just super excited. I'm going to go grab Lily up here soon and have her make some breakfast and have a nice barbecue later, and appreciate you guys all coming on. Always have fun talking with you guys.
Can I say one more thing?
Always. We don't have to jump off just yet. I just wanted to give everybody their chance to say their memory. Go ahead.
Well, one thing I want to say about my father too, when we was kids, he was always our yes person. My mama was the no person. My daddy, he was the yes person. And so we wanted BB guns. But we said, we know we're going to ask daddy, he going to say yes. But then mama's going to change his mind. So we said, we'll go to our mama first. And so we went to mama and said, Mama, can we have a BB gun? And then she looked at us and said, go ask your father. And we were like, yes. Secretly in our mind going, yes. Because we know we're going to get it, because my daddy going to say yes. And so we went to my daddy and said, Daddy, can we have BB guns? And my mom was expecting for my daddy to say no. And so we went in there, and he was in his bedroom, sitting on his chair. He said, yes, son, y'all both got BB guns. And so we come back and run in and then say, my daddy said yes. And mom was in the kitchen. She looked and she ran back there. We thought, uh-oh. She's going back there to change his mind. So, but he talked to her and told her, The older ones had guns, but the older ones almost messed it up for us because they was shooting BB guns at us. We was kids. But he talked my mama into it. He said, I had real guns when I was a kid, so BB guns ain't gonna be that bad for them. And we got our BB guns.
All right. That's cool. That's super cool. You had a story about, going to the hospital. Same thing kind of happened to me. My dad always, always hugged me, kissed me, tells me he loves me, and still does it today. But when I got hit by the truck when I was in junior high, I think I really scared him. And they showed up and they told me, they love me, of course, and they give me a Steve Young jersey, and my dad told me, you took a hit bigger than Steve Young could have taken, and that kind of made me feel a little bit, better, but a little stronger, but he's like, you should have seen the truck after you got hit, and your head, messed that truck up because I got pieces in my head. So, yeah, shout out to my dad again for, making me feel a little bit better in a bad situation. But
Yeah.
Hey, Corey, I got one more dad joke if you want to stick around.
Okay.
All right. This one's not so bad. So sometimes, I like to sing in the shower. And, I don't know about you guys, but I do. And I think I sound pretty good in the shower. But so sometimes, singing in the shower is fun until you get soap in your mouth. Then it's a soap opera.
Oh, I get that one. Oh.
Remember, they're dad jokes, so sometimes you gotta put them together a little bit.
Yup.
Hey, everybody, thanks for coming. Please hit the like button, subscribe. Stay tuned for the details. They're coming soon. We're going to do the cup giveaway. Depending on next Sunday, we'll find out if there will be a show in the morning or not, because if Tom Grossi's in Santa Clara, I might have to be over there doing that. So we might be doing something a little different for Sunday. But definitely stay tuned for the notifications, the show. We have great people coming on all the time. Please check out my panel. We got John Jay, the 49ers Ultimate Report. Subscribe. Corey Davis got a great channel as well. Please check him out. I think he's got a show later tonight. I know he does. Carcast, great content creator. He's got a lot of good stuff that comes out. Please check him out. He's only, 4 away now? 5 away from 300?
Yeah,
Carcast?
something like that. Mm-hmm.
So please, if anybody here can help share, copy his link, put it on your social media. Let's get this guy to 300, and let's keep building this community. Thank you guys again for coming, and check out my wife too. Her name's Tony Culp. She's got a great channel. If you go back and see Corey Davis's show last night, you'll see her. And we really do appreciate you guys. So with that, guys, keep up, stay awake, and we will check you guys next time. Thank you, everybody.
Go Niners.
Go Niners.
F the Rams for McNiner.